All right. So good evening, everyone. Good evening. Please kindly confirm if you all could actually hear me. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening, you all. Happy Sunday. Please kindly confirm if you all could actually hear me very, very clear. All right. All right. So, you all are welcome to I think this is the fifth or sixth class. I can't really remember, but I think it's the fifth class or so. So you all are welcome, and I'm especially welcome you all to this class. You guys have really impressed me a lot. Like, um, these guys are doing well. Like for real. For those that actually did the last assignments, um the person that even impressed me the most was I watched Mr. Oluwaseun's video. I watched it from the beginning to the end. Like it was so amazing. I like it was so amazing. No client will see that kind of video and not even like nobody will see that kind of stores and not want to give you a job. It was so amazing. Like I really loved how detailed his video, the way he breaks it down, the workflow, the pain points. I really love it. Then there's this other lady too on Twitter. I saw her post. I don't know her full name, but I don't know if she's here. Her name is Oofuni. Or I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name very well. Oofuni or so. I don't know if I'm pronouncing. I don't really know her full name, but her Twitter username is Oofuni. She really did amazingly well. Like her videos, I really loved. She did well. She did well. I loved the way she breaks. I watched everything from beginning to the end. The way she breaks it down, like she did amazingly well. Then who else again did I watch his video? I watched Miracle's video also. Um Miracles did amazingly well. Like for real. She did very well. Then who other person did I check their video? I actually saw a whole lot of video, but I haven't made any comments yet to anyone. But I'm just trying to remember those that actually did amazingly well in their presentations. Some people did amazingly well in their presentations. A lot. Ofuni, Mr. Oluwaseun. Some of you I asked you to do a video, but I don't know why most of you are sending screenshots. The instruction was to do a loom video, but most of you are sending screenshots, and I still understand why you are selling screenshots. You sending screenshot now. How do I want to believe you actually build that workflow? I might feel like maybe you downloaded it from someone and just pasted it. Then okay, I think I remember Abdul. Is it Wahiz? I can't remember. Then there is this person. She has the mother in her name. I don't really remember her full name. She also has the mother in her name. I think my I okay. She has the mother in her name. She's a VE, but I can't remember her full name. I watched her video also. I saw her video this morning actually, and she did amazingly well. She did amazingly well. I'm actually noting it down. I think I wrote some people's name in my what's called notepad. Ofuni, Oluwasho, Miracle. Then this girl that this I don't know. She's not a girl. The mother, then Abdul, I think Wahiz also. Then I think that some of the people that actually saw their videos, those that was even expecting to see their video, I've not even seen most of their videos. Then there's someone that is into Web3, something that has it. I don't know. I saw his video also. These are some of the people that I think they did amazingly well for real. But others, I'm still going to go through your video. I'm still going to go through your video. So I'm still going to go through your video. Others, I'm still going to go through your videos. Okay, yeah, the mother Maria. Wow, I watched your video. You did well. For real, you did amazingly well. Then yeah, you did amazingly well. You guys are actually doing very very well, and I really loved what you guys are doing. So before we go into today's class, I'm going to send a mail to all of you that filled the attendance sheet last week. I'm going to divide the guys. We've already divided the guys to. Please, if I've not viewed your video, I'm still going to go through it. I'm trying to go through it one by one. But I know those that are submitted are not even up to 20 or 30. They're not even up to 20. They're not even up to 20. So if you like, don't submit. If you like, submit. I'm watching. And let me tell you, it's all for your benefit. So as I was saying, we've divided everyone into 10 different groups, and we will appointing a group leader for each of your group for your capstone project. There's a project you'll be working on, and you will be submitting on your final day of the what's called of this bootcamp. Okay, some people use LinkedIn. All right, actually, I've not been able to go through my LinkedIn since yesterday. I've been very very busy. Actually, I've been very very busy, but I am going to go through. I actually got a whole lot of notifications on LinkedIn. So for my LinkedIn people, I'm going to be going through your what's called. I'm dropping a comment and I'll be posting this night by God's grace. I think that's what I'll be doing before I go to bed tonight. I'll be going through those that tagged me on LinkedIn. Then the other people that I didn't comment on Twitter, I'm also going to comment on their own. So like I was saying, I've grouped you guys already, and you guys should get a mail immediately after this class to join your group. Check your name and check which group you belong. We have 10 groups, so just check which of the groups you belong and make a request to join your own particular WhatsApp group, and the admin is going to accept what's called the request. And when you join, the first thing you should do is to drop your name and introduce yourself. So last week we talked about um, building your first AI agent. I thought we built our first AI customer support agent. Now I noticed a whole lot of you were having issues building it. Miracle sent me a DM of some of you complaining that you don't understand. I know most of people that don't even understand were people that didn't come to class. This agent is not even hard to build. I don't know why some of you are having issues building these agents. I don't know, but I won't go to that. Um, I won't go to that. I won't go to that. So tonight we'll be talking about Iraq agents. I don't have a slide for my class tonight. I don't have a slide actually. I should have prepared a slide for this class, but I don't have a slide. So you guys should bear with me for this night because tonight is really going to be more of practical. So I don't really have a slide tonight. So that's just it. Um so today we'll be building Iraq agents. We'll be building Iraq agents. Um I know some of you already are conversant with what a rack agent means and how a rack agent actually works. So we'll be building what a rack agent is. Um, you'll be begin to understand the technology behind AI assistants, high level customer support agent, company help desks, how various what's called how various startup build um, their various RAG agents. So you'll be learning that also for this particular bootcamp. So you'll be learning that for this particular bootcamp. Please kindly confirm if you all could hear me. I need to know if you guys can actually hear me very well. Kindly confirm if you can hear me. Please, you guys confirm if you can actually hear me. All right. So now today's class is the part where you're going to understand how AI becomes for everyone out there, and you're going to understand what RAG agent is, even if this is your first time coming across this class. So now what I want you guys to do is I don't have a slide to present. So everything I'll be saying is coming from my head. Now, as usual, please go and get a pen and jotter to write down because it's all going to come. I don't have any notes. I didn't write anything down. So I'm just going to teach from my head and from my experience that I've built several rack agents. So please get your pen, get your jotter to jot down because I won't I might not remember what I've said because I don't have a slide. I don't have any what's called um notes pad right now with me. So please get a pen and a jotter to write down, please and please, because you are if you feel like you don't need it, you're going to need it when you start building. See, that AI agent we built last week is one of the most simplest AI agents. But you see this one, that's where there is a whole lot of work. Because if you build an agent, a customer support agent without a rag, how do you want it to be perfect? So now we are going deeper into what a RAG agent is and be able to understand how to use RAG in your AI agent. Now, what do I mean by RAG agent? RAG actually means retrieve and generate. RAG means retrieve and generate. Now, it might actually look so simple, but bro, it carries a whole lot of power. Now, in our previous classes, we actually just use our knowledge base stuff like that. But do you know that before AI answers your questions for a customer support, it first goes to your documents, picks the right information, brings it back, then use it to give you the correct answer, right? So now, instead of using AI or our open AI, form its own answer. Now, it read your information, but you see the one we used last week, we only embedded a Google Drive. Now, we can actually have issues whereby it's going to hallucinate or when there are what's called too much messages coming in at a time. You might be having issues with hallucinations, forgetting or sending out the wrong information. That is why we need a rack agent because a rack is very, very accurate. Iraq is very, very stable. It doesn't hallucinate. It doesn't forget. And most customer support agents that build what's called AI customer support, most of them use RAG agents. Now, let me explain what a RAG agent is. Let's say you are in a university, for example, or let's say you're in a university, for example, and they asked you that, okay, what is photosynthesis? Now, let's say I don't know what photosynthesis is. I might just guess the answer, but I don't even know what is photosynthesis. Now, what do you want to do? Will you tell the teacher that you don't know, or they gave you guys an assignment to write what is a photosynthesis and you don't know the answer? What do? You either open your textbook or you search for it online, then you also read the explanation and now write your own answer yourself, not copy and paste. You first of all read the explanation, then write your own answer. So that's exactly how RAG works. RAG is simply checking AI the textbook first. It doesn't just answer questions. It first of all check first before answering questions, right? Or let's say you visit a restaurant and they ask you or you ask them how much is fried rice at the restaurant. You don't know. You have to check the menu first. Some restaurant will give you their menu board to check and you look for fried rice, find the price and pay. Now, you now imagine you having an AI that is a library full in all your documents. That whenever someone asks any questions, it goes to the right shelf, finds the right books, finds the right document, opens the right page, pick the correct paragraph, and uses it to answer the question. exactly how RAG work. Now, why exactly do we need RAG? Because I know most of your question will be like, since we're able to build the former AI agents without using RAG, why exactly then do we need to use RAG? Now, you need to know that AI is unreliable. Sometimes, when you are chatting with AI, you know that sometimes it gets information that are outdated, especially if you are not using the right prompting, because you have to tell it what it should do. And sometimes it even forgets. Sometimes it gets answers. Sometimes it mixes a whole lot of information. Or like I said earlier, sometimes when there's a whole lot of people messaging at the same time, or when your data is long, it gets confused. Now, and sometimes it gives you nonsense. Not because AI can't give you the right approach, but because you didn't give it the right structure. Now, with the use of RAG, you are no longer depending on the model's memory. You are giving it its own verified information, because with RAG, you are going to avoid hallucination. What do I mean by hallucination? Sometimes when you ask AI something and it doesn't know, it can't just give you that I don't know. Sometimes it makes up something just to send you something. But RAG actually solves that by giving you real information, right? And also, sometimes maybe your FAQs, your database, or whatever you're using to train that AI agent, you don't know that AI agents might not be able to hold 100 pages of documents. They may not be able to search through over 500 pages of documents. But RAG agents can actually search all 100 pages and pick the right answer and pick the right part that you actually need. RAG also gives you guys the same information from the same document, right? Now, AI cannot just search your document, but RAG can actually search your documents. RAG can give you an accurate answer, because RAG is going to force your AI agent to use only the information you provide. Any information that is not in your RAG, RAG is not going to allow AI agents send it to your customers. There is no any room for assumptions. There is no any room for imagination. There is no any room for guessing. If it's not in your FAQ document, it's going to direct you to it's going to what's called send it to I can let me forward it to a real human to solve your issue. If you chat up customer support on all of this banking stuff, if they can't solve your issue or if they can't do anything, they will tell you that we have to book it. We have to create a ticket for you and we send it to our support. Then they'll reach out to you. That's because the RAG agent does not have information about what you are trying to solve. But sometimes, if the information is not there, OpenAI might try to bring up something. Now, how does this RAG actually works? It takes all your big documents. Let's say I have a document of over 500 pages. It breaks this document into small chunks. Store those chunks inside a vector database and read your questions and find the closest answers to all your questions and give that chunks to AI to answer. It's just very simple. Search and answer very, very smart. So that's why we said RAG is retrieve and generate. Go and fetch the right part of the document. Use the fetch content to create an answer. Look back there. Retrieve and generate. So whenever you hear what is RAG, don't get confused. It's just retrieve and generate. Go and fetch the right part of the document and use the fetch content to create the answer. It's as easy as that. Now, I hope you guys are following me, right? So now, what can you build with rag? You can build rag with you can build rag for restaurants, customer support boards, real estate boards, learning platforms, academy, HR, company policy, school or university information boards, SaaS knowledge assistants, personal research assistants. See, rag is the backbone of any serious chatbot. If your bot need to understand and use your information, you need rag. And in today's practical class, I don't know, but we might build a RAG agent, an AI customer agent for a real estate company. I'm not sure yet, but we might build a customer support agent for a real estate company. So now that you've understand what RAG is, there's another thing that is called vector database because both RAG and vector database works together. A vector database is where your document stays. Vector database is where your document lives. This is where the magic actually opens. This is the where the magic happens, right? It's as simple as that. Now, let me tell you how this vector database works. Is a kind of storage that stores your information. A vector database does not store your information as a text. It stores your information as a number. I just pity those people that are not in class today because most people that are what's called that are into automation, this is where they find the most difficult, like agents. If you have anybody that is not in class today, I just pity people that are not in class because I'm not going to go back to this thing. Especially even though you'll be building AI customer support agents, you'll be building AI agents. If you don't understand how RAG works, hmm, I just pity you for real. If you have anyone that is not in class today, okay. So now a vector database, it does not store information as a text, but it stores it as a number because AI understand number better than text. What did I say? AI understand numbers better than text. That's why like yesterday when I was teaching my mentees, we're doing some practical step. So I was telling them that when it comes to prompting in the AI agent, AI AI understands JSON prompting more than just you writing a normal prompt. I don't know how maybe most of you have heard of JSON before. AI understand if you write a prompt in JSON, you're going to get the most accurate answer. But if you write it in text, you might not get it. You might not get the most accurate like writing in JSON. Even in AI content creations, I have a YouTube. I have a YouTube automation channel, a faceless channel that is also a part of side hustle that I make money from. Whenever I want to write, whenever I want to make videos or what's called my guys want to make videos, I always tell them convert those text to JSON, write those prompts in JSON. There's no AI tools that produce videos, content. Any AI tools you want to use, Sora 2, blah blah stuff like that. They will all just write in JSON. You're going to get the most accurate type of output. Why? Because even what's called AI understands numbers more than text. So a vector database is just a place where your document is breaking down into small parts. It's been converted into numbers and stored in a way that AI can easily search for it and understand. Since we said that AI understands number more than text, now how do we break down these numbers into text? That's why we need, and where do we store these numbers into? That's why we need a vector database. Now, imagine you bought all these puzzle games. You know, they'll they- they'll cut all this. Like if you go, if there's this thing they used to sell in traffic, all these small small puzzle pieces like this. Now, it's been cut into small small puzzle pieces, then they put them inside a box. So now, when someone asks you that, okay, show me the part of the puzzle that has the sky, you have to go inside the box and pick only the pieces and pick only the one that match the sky and bring them out. That's exactly how vector databases work. Now, that box that you went to pick something is actually the vector database. And that puzzle papers that have been cut is your chunks of documents, right? So that's how vector database works. Now, I've been saying that AI does not read document directly. Why? Because if you give ChatGPT now, if you give ChatGPT now a what's called a 200-page document or a 200-page PDF, it will break. Or even ChatGPT has a limit of number of text you can send to it. Either it gives you nonsense, or it hallucinates, or it even tells you it can't continue. So now, instead for us to actually chunk all those 200 pages documents, what do we do instead? We break all those documents into small chunks. We convert each chunk into numbers and store those numbers into a vector database so that whenever someone asks a question, we only bring out the relevant question. Okay, I went to a library. I want to buy a book. I want to buy The Mountain Is You, and there are a whole lot of pile of books. Okay, do you expect them to bring all those books and ask me to select one? No, because they've already separated each book in a different locker, and The Mountain Is You has its own shelf already. Okay, assuming they pack everything together without separating it, how do they want to know that this is the particular locker that The Mountain Is You is there? So now, when you use a RAG agent and you store it in a vector database, it makes AI to actually be more faster, more accurate because he knows where he's going to go to take that information instead of going through a 200-page document. And it's very, very more reliable and able to handle almost if you like have 1,000 pages knowledge base, it's going to handle it for you. If I embed the 1,000 knowledge base, the AI agent will be last week. Do you think it won't mess up? It will mess up because how many hours I want to spend? They read through almost 1,000 what's called knowledge base, right? And also, when building your rack agents, you're going to um use embeddings, and the embeddings are just the mathematical version of your text. It is just like turning a sentence into a long list of numbers. Like, for example, we open by 9 a.m. It can become like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? You're trying to form a sentence and changing it into a long number because computer loves numbers a lot, and number helps AI measures similarities. Does these questions look like anyone in the chunk? Which chunk is closest to the questions? Which chunk matches the meaning, right? So it's as easy as that. So when questions comes in, do you deliver food to this so 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 so? It has to convert that question into embeddings. Then before it can now go into vector database to search and compares the number with the questions and also find out the chunk that is closest to the meaning and pull out the matching chunk, then answer it. It's as easy as that. So there are a whole lot of vector database out there. We have Pinecone, we have lot of them: Kuma DB, Weaviate, Lance DB, Movios, Superbase, um, Mungo DB. But the one I love the most is actually Pinecone. I love Pinecone the most. The one I love the most is Pinecone. And I've also explained why vector database is really a game changer for everyone that wants to really build an AI customer support. If you see any AI customer support that they build any customer support today and they are not using a rack agent, bro, you didn't build any customer support. Because how they expect to build a customer support without using any retrieve augmented retrieve and generate? You want to build any restaurant, blah blah blah, stuff like that, e-commerce agent, all of them. You need a what? You need a rack agent. So now we are going to the practical section, and you understand how you can actually build a rack agent from the beginning, and you understand how it actually works. Now, before we build a rack agent, we need to first of all build our knowledge base that we are going to feed into this rack agent. And for today's class, let me use a real estate company. Let me use a real estate company. So let me share my screen. I'm going to share my screen now. I hope you all can see my screen actually. So let me use a real estate company. Let me search for Go Reality. This which company is not related. You guys should on. I need to check something. Go Reality. Go Reality. Go Go Reality. You guys should on. I'm trying to check. I've forgotten the name of the websites. I actually want to use my mentor's real estate company as a case study. Wow, where's Coach Bori? Coach Oluboripo. Oluboripo. I want to use his company. Coach Bori is someone I really respect. I really love so much. He has taught me a real lot. Go reality. Okay, I think I need to know if they have a website. Wow, they don't have a website yet. Bro, how come? Coach Bori no get website ke? For inquiries and communication. I need to know. Just trying to check if they have. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. I need to know if they have an AI agent. I You guys should not sign for business idea. Soft. Okay. I know what to do. I want to build. We are going to build. No, I intentionally didn't show my. I'm doing some research about a company, so that's why I didn't share my screen. But you guys should hold on. I'm going to share my screen now. So now I want to build our rack agents. Today case study we are using Go Reality. We are using Go Reality. So I'm going to go to ChatGPT now. So let me. I'll share my screen for ChatGPT. So I've shared my screen. Can you guys see my screen? All right. So I'll first of all ask him, do you know, do you know Go Reality and Homes? So I'm trying to ask AI if it actually knows about Go Reality and Homes. So I don't know why it's delaying. Can you see? It's been hallucinating my okay. Okay, where are their estates located? Okay. So okay, so I'm bidding a customer support agent for Gority, and I need a well deep long um, knowledge base about Gority and everything people need to know about Gority, every informations every informations about their land estates, every information is about their land estates, location, landmarks, and everything, including. I just hope because they don't have a website. I just hope ChatGPT is able to get all the information, including their estates, pricing, and everything they need, and everything about quality. So let's just hope AI will be able to give us all these things. Yes, you need your knowledge base to be able to build a customer support agent because we are building a customer support agent. So we need a very deep knowledge base for us to be able to build a customer support agent. So it's currently building it. So let's wait for it to finish before we continue. So it's still building, it's still building. So our ChatGPT is still working. It's still working. So I'm just going to wait for it to actually finish working before we continue. So it's still working. So it's still working. I don't know. So we still have to wait for it to actually finish building all this before we can continue building this. Okay, so it is done. So now it is done. Still writing. Okay, it's still working. Yeah, rubber stop. Put it face blank. Okay. Operational presence. Okay. Yes. Estate portfolio. Eden Christian Estate. Mania Ibadan. Okay. Okay. So our rack agent is still working. So pending the time when our rack agent is going to be done, let's go and create. I'm not going to share the screen for this one. Yeah, you can use Grok. You can use anyone. You can use cloud anyone you want to work with. So I'm going to create a new what's called. I'm coming for you guys. So I need to check if it is done actually. Pinnacle Estate. So it's still working. It's still working. It's still working. So I need to check if it is done. You can use any other AI. I think I've mentioned this already. Anyone you want to use, anything, anyone you think you love. But because I prefer ChatGPT, so that's why. So you can use any other AI you want to use. Them say, the blessing where you do. Go reality, go reality, once FAQ. Okay, you want to send me an email? If you need to send me an email, please just check the email you used to send the welcome what's called the welcome the acceptance mail that you used to join the class. Check the email you used to send to you. Or you can even DM me on WhatsApp or Telegram. Anyone. You need to tell me something. I'm using another company to what's called to build my knowledge base. So it's trying to okay. So it's still building more information about what's called about what's called Go Reality and Homes. So it's still building more information about Go Reality and Homes. So I think it's actually done. It's done now. So how do we actually use it? Remember, I'll just so, so I'll just copy this that ChatGPT gave us and what's called paste it in my Google Drive, my Google Docs document. So I'm going to paste it here. So I'm going to delete all this what's called. So I'm going to delete all this. I'm going to delete all these Jamba chan things. So I'm going to go up again. I'm going to go up again and delete all this information about. So that's all about this particular knowledge base for Go Reality that I just built. So now we are done with our knowledge base. So what we need to do is we need to have our own internet data document and we need to train ChatGPT or whatever to answer questions in our own what's called um, FAQs. So that's why we are trying to use this vector database. So what do we do? I'm going to create a new workflow now. So I'm going to create a new workflow Um, so now this workflow is going to be divided into two workflow. We are going to build our what's called Pinecone first, then before we build our AI agent. So I'm going to name this particular one um Pinecone Pinecone agent. So after I name it Pinecone agent. So who is that? All right, sorry guys for the distractions actually. So now once we have our what's called already have our FAQs. So all we need to do now is to um go back here to build our what's called our Pinecone database for what's called for this workflow because we need to chunk all these datas that we have into our Pinecone database because we don't just want to embed it um what's called to our what's called to our AI agent. So we need a clear and direct answers. So that's just how these will actually work. So this chatbot will be able to answer all these questions, but because we handled a simple memory, it may not able to remember everything we are going to be asking him. So that's just it about this. So now we're going to go through the building from beginning and how it actually works. Please, I need you guys to focus now. All these things that I don't forget. I'm not what's called. I'm going to break it down um for what's called to to you guys for you guys to be able to understand in the best way that you guys can um, understand. So let's get to work. You guys should give me a minute. So now let's say we need to buy a what's called um what's called from Go Reality. We want to buy an estate from Go Reality. We need to ask Go Reality some questions. But maybe we send them with DM and we couldn't get answers. That's exactly the reason why we are building this agent. So Go Reality could use this agent and embed into their website or to their WhatsApp so that anytime any potential customers has questions about their real estate company, it could easily answers all the questions by accessing the vector database and also providing an accurate answer for this real estate company. So because RAG agents are powerful for customer support, like I told you guys earlier, they give you guys real time answer. So first of all, we have opened our what's called our workspace and we've created a brand new workflow. So now let's start by adding our Google Drive to the node. Google Drive. So I'm going to look for Google Drive. Sorry. So I'm going to look for Drive, Google Drive. And we're going to start it by that says on changes involving a specific folder. So we're going to trigger it whenever what's called someone has any documents um, because we want to automate the process so that whenever someone adds any document into this folder, it's going to automatically trigger this workflow. So this node will watch on the drive folder and triggers whenever any new file appears to this folder. So we need to connect our Google Drive account here and we need to select a folder. Okay, you guys should on. Let me reconnect. Let me reconnect again. So I need to connect to our Google Drive account. So so I need to connect to our Google Drive account and let's see. So I've connected to our Google Drive account. I've taught you guys how to connect to Google Drive account in our last class. So I don't think you should have any issues connecting to your Google Drive account. I already taught you guys how to connect to your Google Drive account in our last class already. So um so I'm going to I think if we've connected the account, so I'm going to select a folder. So I haven't created any folder yet in our Google Drive. So I'm just going to head over to Drive, Google to what's called Google Drive sign in. So I'm going to sign in using my own account. Um, you guys should hold on. So let me share this tab. So now this is my Google Drive account for this particular one. So I'm going to create a new folder for reality homes. Go. So I'm going to create a new folder as Go Reality, Go Reality, Go Reality Homes as the new folder. Rag Agent. So I'm going to create this folder. So if it has successfully created a new folder. So now this is the new folder for Go Reality Homes. So I'm going to head over back to and it's going to fetch out for let me delete this and add the trigger again, the drive trigger on changes involving a specific folder. And I'm going to so do you remember the folder we just created? Go Reality folder. So now what we need to watch for is that whenever any new file appears here, it actually triggers this workflow. I've taught you guys our Google Drive folder every minute. You can also change this to either every hours, every day, every week, every month, depending on how you want it. But I'm going to for this class, we are going to be using every minute. We want this trigger to be watching out for any changes to our folder every minute. So um we want this automation watch when the folder watch when the watch folder itself is modified, when a folder is updated in the watch folder, when a file is created, when a file is updated in the folder. So I'm going to be using when a file is created. So now I'm going to upload. Remember, I built a FAQ. So let me just download this FAQ as a PDF. So let me just download these FAQs as a PDF. Please, can you all hear me? Okay, I guess it was the network. I'm sorry. So now I've created our FAQs already. So now we've already created our what's called we already created our Google Drive trigger to watch out for whenever any new file is created. So I said that you can either watch it every minute or every hour of every day. It's either completely up to you. But because in this case I want this trigger to check up on my Google Drive folder every minute, so it will be easier to test our automation and agents in the feature step. Now, I want to be this trigger to trigger based on changes involving a specific folder, right? So you notice any changes involving, so you can just leave it as changes involving a specific folder or changes involving a but for this we are using changes involving a specific folder, right? So watch out for when file created or blah, 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 stuff like that. Anyhow you want it. So I have my Google Drive folder already that I'm going to upload. Remember, we built this and I have downloaded these FAQs already. I have downloaded it as PDF, and we are going to go back to our Google Drive, the drive you use to sign up to connect your anything account to Google Drive. You know, in our previous class I taught you guys on how you can actually connect Google Drive to anything. So now go and watch that video and learn how to connect Google Drive to anything. But for this particular one, we've created a connections already, so I'm going to be uploading this file that I created. Remember the FAQ that I created? I'm going to be uploading it on this Google Drive folder. So let me just upload it. Um, I'll just upload it to this. Guys, should hold on. I'm trying to see. So I'm going to upload this file, the FAQ I created for Google Drive for Go Reality Homes. So I'm going to upload it to this. So now can you see I've uploaded it to this my drive already. So I'm going to trigger this workflow and fetch out for test events, and let's see what we have. So now, can you see we already have an event? You can either go through it or what's it called. So I have you have the JSON, you have the table, you have the schema, blah blah stuff like that. I hope you guys are following me. You are lost as how. Now, let me take it back from the beginning again. Let me take it from the beginning again. Please, I'm going to take it from the beginning again. We want to build a Pinecone database for our customer support. Now, for we to build a Pinecone database, where is our doc? Remember I explained what a RAG database is, and a vector database can only understand numbers and not text. And you remember that our what's called our FAQs are in text and not in numbers. So we need to find a way that we are going to convert that numbers into that text into a numbers. Now, how do we do it? Now, the reason why I'm starting this particular workflow with a trigger is because I don't want to be coming to this workflow on and on. Maybe in the future, if I have any document I want to upload or I want to add more knowledge database, I can easily add it, and it's going to trigger whenever I add any new knowledge, it's going to trigger it and add it to our database. So that's why I'm starting this workflow with a Google Drive, right? That's why I'm starting this workflow with a Google Drive. And remember, we've already created an FAQ for Go Reality. This is the FAQs we created for Go Reality, right? Now, how do we do it? I need to download these FAQs in PDF. I've downloaded it. Once I download it, I need to upload it to our Google Drive. We need to upload it to our Google Drive. And in our last class, remember we used Drive, and you need to connect it. You can't use Google Docs. You need to upload that file to a Google Drive. And we've already done how to connect anything to your Google Workspace, blah blah, blah stuff like that, and also how to use the Google Drive. So now I have my Google Drive connected already. Let me share this tab. I have my Google Drive already. So now, remember we said we need to watch out for whenever a new file is added. So we are using on changes involving a specific folder. And I have connected my Google Drive account already. And I need to watch out for every minute. Now, your own can actually be every hour. It can be every day, depending on how you want it to be, right? It can be every month. It can be just anyhow you want it to be. But in this our particular own, I want this trigger to check my Google Drive folder. That is the Google Drive folder I created for Go Reality Homes. I want it to watch out for whenever I upload any file every minute. If you decide you can change it to every hour, if you want, you can change it to every day. Code you can not use trigger. Anyone that you want for yourself. If you like, you can start this workflow with just your Google Drive alone. If you don't need Google Trigger. So what's happening? Okay, it's back again. So depending on how you want it to work. So now, in this case, I want it to check my workflow every minute. And that's it. File created. Choose file created, and that's it. So now the document, I'm going to delete this document. I'm going to delete it. I'm going to, so this is the folder I created for Go Reality Homes. I'm going to delete this. So I've connected my Google Drive trigger already. Folder, Go Reality folder, and watch out for when a file is being created. So I'm going to upload the file I created for what's called for Go Reality Homes, right? That's the FAQ ChatGPT created for us. I'm going to upload it into their folder before I can embed it into our vector database. It's as easy as that. So it has successfully uploaded it. Now let's come back to our NA10 workflow and text if it actually works. So I'm going to click on fetch text event. Now, can you see we already have an output? Let me pin this. We already have an output and we have the display name, we have the ID, permission ID, blah 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 stuff like that. But we don't really need all these. 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 So now this is the file we all uploaded to the Google Drive. What we really need here is the file ID. I think that's all. I repeat, we created a dedicated folder for Go Reality in Google Drive to store these documents because in the future we might want to upload more and more documents inside our database, right? The reason why you can't use Google Docs is because in the future you might want to add more and more documents. And how do we add more and more documents? By creating a folder that we can add more and more documents. The Google Drive is not the vector database. We are still building. This is the first step in our in the workflow. So now we created a dedicated folder as created a dedicated folder for this Google Drive was called. That's it. That is as simple as that. And we already have our output already. This is our data. We have our data already. You can either switch it to JSON, you can switch this to the schema table or whatever you want it to do. Everything we need is just to ensure that anything pulls all the data about our PDF file. And if you notice, if you don't have your file name and file ID there, that means anytime didn't put um all your data. So I need to check out for the file name and also the file ID for this particular workflow. So we have the file ID already, and we also have the file name, which is the Go Reality Homes PDF, and this is the file ID of what we created. So it actually fed a whole lot of data that we don't even need. All what we need is the file ID and the file name. So now, anytime we add a new document into our Google Drive folder, it will be fetched by this trigger node. Now that we have our what's called our file name and file ID, what do we need to do? We need to download this file. Remember, we don't have the file yet, so we need to download this file. So we need to add another node, another Google Drive node that is going to download this file for us, right? So just search, go back to your node panel and just search for drive, and you're going to use the download file. So just just click on download file. And when you click on download file, I have connected my Google Drive account already, and the resource is actually down on the file, and the operation is download, right? So what we need to do is, um, remember immediately we connect this Google Drive node, this download file node to our trigger node, it fetches all the datas too. So we already have our input here already. Now, we don't need all this information. We don't need all this information. All we need is the file ID. All we need what is the file ID. So I'm going to search for our file ID and upload it there. All we need is the what is the file ID. So now where do we have our file ID here? Let me see. File ID. File ID. So you just scroll down. So this is where we have the file ID here. So all you have to do is just to drag it and drop it here. Just drag it and drop it here. So we've successfully mapped the file ID into the correct field. And that's just it. So let me just rename this node as um download what's called download file um for download file for Google Reality. Google sorry, I said Google Reality. Go Reality. So now I'm going to execute this particular workflow and see what we have. So I'm going to execute it and see what we have. Okay, let me just test the workflow. Okay, it's currently running. It's currently running, and let's see what we have. Now, can you guys see the Go Reality file we created? This is the Go Reality file we created already. Now, we need to vectorize this file that we store in our Google Drive to a Pinecone vector store. We need to load this file into our vector database. Now, remember I said I really love Pinecone vector database for RAG agents. So you need to add a new node and search and just add the Pinecone. I'm going to have Pinecone vector store. Just click on it. You guys should done. I'm coming. How do I know the next node or list of nodes to attach to every node? because I know what I want to build. If I know what I want to build, I already know what's called the next node to add to it. Because I know what I want to build, right? So now we are trying to add a document to our vector store, right? I'm going to click on it, and the node is insert a document, right? I don't know if you guys are following me. So now, before we add anything, we need to connect our Pinecone vector database to anything. We need to um we need to connect our Pinecone. So you're going to click on new API key, but because we don't have a Pinecone account yet, we are going to create a new account of Pinecone. So you just go to Google. So just go to Google and search for Pinecone vector. So once you click on Pinecone vector database, so you could just click on sign up. So just click on sign up. If this is your first time, what's called, just click on sign up. So once you click on sign up, let's follow through um the registration process. So we are trying to sign up. So let me just continue with Google. Let me use some of my emails. So for this Pinecone vector database, so I'm trying to sign up on Pinecone vector database now. So continue. So just answer the questions. Rack agents, raw file. So just continue. Anything. Get started. So this is what we are going to. So now we already have. Blah. Just close it. So now we need our Pinecone database to store our information. That's for our long-term memory. So now, one thing I love about this Pinecone vector database is that you can actually build a whole lot of rack agents for free without paying the monthly subscription, which is really great for if you are trying to test if you are trying to test it. So once you create an account, what we need to do is to create a new index. Now, on this particular account, we don't have any in database. Can you see? Create a new index, load from data inset. So we don't have any database. So I'm going to create a new index now, give it a name, and also configure it. So let me create a index and let me give it a name. Let me say go realty rag. One of the most effective model that I used most is the OpenAI embedding model. This is really important because we are going to use that same embedding when we start uh, building our workflow, right? So I'm going to just look for the anything, this what's called anything test embedding 3, and just okay. So and just so this so and just click on create new index. So now that our index are successfully created, we don't need to worry about all these details, blah 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 blah. But you just need to know what it actually means. Now, this dimension is what this means is actually that each test is stored as a list of 512 numbers that captures. So it's meaningful for searching for our agents. So now, since we already created an index, the next thing we need to do is to create an API key that we are going to connect to N8N. So now we need to create an API key, and you just click on the API section and click on create new API key. And let me just name this Go Reality Anything. Go Reality Anything. Then give it a name. So this for my own case, I'm going to be using Go Reality Anything. So just click on create key. So once you click on create key, copy it and close. Now we're going to go back to anything to on what's called paste our um API key that we created on Pinecone and click on save. So it has already connected to our Pinecone. Can you see connection texted successfully, right? So now we need to choose our index. We've already added a Pinecone vector store. So we need to add documents to our vector, right? Now we need to we've connected our Pinecone vector. We've connected our Pinecone vector what's called accounts. Please, you guys, any question you want to ask after this class. It's kind of distracting me right now. Any question you want to ask after the class. So now, what we're trying to do is to embed all this text into our Pinecone vector database. So we've connected our Pinecone account already. We've created a new credentials and we've pasted the API keys that we close it. Now you can actually use other database. You can use different vector stores like Superbase, blah 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 blah, blah stuff like that. Now, if you want to use other providers too, you can start shout for their own vector was store. But for here, we're going to be using Pinecone because I love Pinecone a lot, and I'm going to stick with that for this class. Now, the operation node is actually to insert documents, so I'm going to leave it as it is. And now we have to select the Pinecone index that we just created, and let's see the Pinecone index we just created. Let's wait for it to bring it out. Yes, sure. So this is the Pinecone index we just created. So I'm just going to select it, and the embedding batch size is set to 200. So I can just leave it as it is. Then I have to add a namespace. You can actually add a namespace directly in your Python account under this database. Um where is it? So you can just come to your Python database and add a namespace. So you can add it here, but I'm going to do it mine directly on anything. So I'm just going to click on add options and write Pinecone name database. So I'm going to call it Go Reality RAG agents. I'm going to call it Go Reality RAG agents, and let's just close it and just leave it like that. Now that is great. So now the next thing we need to do is actually to let me text this workflow. Can you guys see we got an error, right? It's because we got an error because we have not added our embedded model. Now, if you remember, in my previous explanation, I told you that our vector database can only, I told you that our vector database can only accept um, every our text as a number and not as a text. So we need to add an embedding model, and we also need to add a document loader, right? We need to add an embedding model, and we need to add our document what's called um, folder. So now let me just, you guys should. Um, so now what I need to do is to add our embedding model. For our embedding model, remember we used OpenAI, right? OpenAI. So I'm going to be using the OpenAI embedding uh model because I really love the OpenAI embedding model. Okay, bro, I have to create a new credentials. I forgot to. So now let me connect to my OpenAI account. I'm not going to share the screen for that. I've taught you guys on how to connect to your how to get your API key for OpenAI. So I'm waiting to connect my account to OpenAI. So let me just use this. So let me just create a new secret key. Um I'm waiting on creating. I'm not going to. I'm not sharing the screen for this one actually. So let me just copy the API. I've taught you guys on how you can actually connect um your anything to Open AI. So this is my API key. So I've connected it already. Let me save. So now it has successfully um connected. Yeah, sure. I'm trying to do something now. So now successfully connected and the text embedding, we're going to use text embedding 3 small. Remember the one we used earlier. So I'm going to use this one and that's all. Then let me just try it here. So let me use a document, default document loader because we need to actually um, download this file. We need to download this file and actually load it into our Pinecone vector database. So I'm going to be using so the type of data is going to ask us what is the type of data we are using. So the type of data is actually PDF, which is binary. I hope you all know what binary data is. These are what has been taught in our early secondary schools in computer. So all load all. So now the data format, you can either leave it as PDFs or automatically dictate, depending if you know that you'll be adding several data. So you can either add your own as PDF or anyone um you want to add. But for this, let me just use PDF to what's called to as our default document loader because what we have coming in um is actually PDF. So now that's all PDF. So now what we need to do is to you can actually add more text splitter to fetch more of this what's called information. And what we need to do is yeah sure no. Please can you guys confirm if you can hear me? You guys confirm if you could hear me? Please you guys should confirm if you can hear me. All right, all right. So now what we need to do next is actually to add a text splitter, right? We need to add a text splitter. so we could actually get an accuracy for whatever we are trying to upload it to. So this text splitter is going to split this text. You remember I talked about chunks into chunks by different character. So I usually recommend you use text splitter for your rack agent for better accuracy. Racy. No, I'm not going to use this. Yes, no. So for better accuracy, so let me just add more note. I'm coming. Is you guys hold on? Hello? Please let me call you back. I'm in a class. Please. Yes. I know. Just schedule a meeting with him. I'm going to. Please, you guys give me a minute. A minute, please. Okay, I'm back, guys. So, as I was saying, we need to add a text splitter. So, I'm going to add a subnode where I'm going to add a text splitter for us to actually get better accuracy for our workflow for our Pinecone um, database. So, just go to your notepad, node splitter. So we're going to use a recursive character text splitter so that it breaks our longer text into smaller chunks so they can be processed or embedded properly into our vector database. So I'm going to be using this. So I'm going to be using this. So I've successfully connected it already. So what we need to do is we need to you can either accept to add a metadata. You can add a metadata to it if you want to add a metadata to it because metadata actually helps in getting more accuracy. My screen is blank. Jeez. Okay, wait, hold on. So let me click on save. Can you guys see my screen now? Can you guys see my screen now? Let me know if you guys can see my screen now. Okay, since you guys can see my screen now. So now I've already created remember we've added our document data loaded and we've added our text splitter. So let me just save it and let me run this workflow and see what we have. So I'm going to execute and let's see what we have. So it's currently working. It's currently working. So it's still working. It's still working. So it's still trying to break down our documents and uploading it to our vector database. So let's wait for it to complete. So it's currently splitting all the documents that we uploaded into our Google Drive, and it's uploading it to our vector database. Can you see it's still working? So our document is being splitting and embedding into our vector store. So I'm going to wait for it to complete and see what we have. And remember from the beginning, this workflow started with our Google Drive trigger. That whenever a new file is being added to our Google Drive, it automatically trigger this automatically trigger this workflow. And what's the problem? Can you show me? Okay, vector dimension 1563 512 vector dimension. So we need to check what the error is. And so I think our vector dimension has issues. 512 does not okay. So all we need to now is to debug. So don't panic. I know most of you actually panic here. So we don't need to panic. So we just need to troubleshoot where the error is. So I think it's from the vector dimension. Guys, should hold on. 512. Guys, hold on, please. I need to troubleshoot where the error is. 512. Vector dimension 1536 does not match the dimension of 512. Okay, let me check the embedding. So I need to know where the error is. You guys should just calm down and let me debug this thing. So that's one of the issues of automation. If I know most of you actually panic. Okay, I think it's from here. It's from this default data loaded. That's where we are having the issues. Binary. Curiosity. Just need to know where the issue is. So now, sometimes when you're having issues like this, we tend to use our other means, but I need to know where exactly the issue is from. You guys should just hold on. I don't know if it's actually from our Pinecone database or what's called. Yes, I know. I just need to know where the error is. 'Cause I can't see any issues here. Yeah, I should just calm down. I must see to the end of this thing. So you guys should on. And let me see where the error is. Okay, yes. Now, can you guys see when let me show you guys what I did. So I just took the error to open AI. Can you guys see my screen? Jeez. So the error was actually from um the embedding. I did a mistake. Now, can you see the solution AI gave us? So what's happening is because the embedding that we generated from OpenAI or the model we selected is not our 1536 dimension. So if the index is 512, every vector must be 512. If we send a 1536 dimension, it will reject it. So the reason is because anything is generating 1536 36 embedding. Now I think the mistakes is from our Pinecone database. We don't actually need a 512. So I'm going to create a new database now. I don't need it's from when we're creating this index. So I'm going to create a new index now. Also name it Go Reality. So the reason why we got 5136 is because the embedding model we used, it was not what we were supposed to use. We choose the wrong embedding model. That's why um, so, oh, fuck. So now for this one, for this embedding model, so we're going to use this text embedding theory model. So go reality. Let me just go reality X states rag. So we're going to use this. I hope you guys can see my screen. So the reason because the reason why we have a 512 dimension is because I'm using the mini embedding model for OpenAI. So and OpenAI is rejecting it because the one OpenAI generated in our N8N workflow is 1.5 on our N8N workflow is 1536, but on our Pinecone database is 512. So it's having a mix match error. That's why it's rejecting it. So and the reason why it was 512 is because I used the lowest what's called embedding uh model. That's why we're having what's called 512 uh dimension. So I'm going to be using the text embedding 3 large. So 1024. So now, one thing you should notice is the one you are using here must be the same with the one we're going to use in N8N. So we can also use the test embed 3. So it can be any so we're going to be using 1536 dimension, but I'm going to still using this one. But I'm going to change the dimension instead of 512 here. I'm going to change this to 5136 dimension, and I'm going to create index. So we've already created our index already. So now all I have to do is to go back to NA10, go back to NA10 and change to the index we just created just now. So this is the index we just created, the Go Realty Estate rag. So now when I let me check the embedding we use, still the same thing, still three small. So let me text this workflow now, and I know it's going to work now. Let me execute workflow and see what we have. So the issue came from because the dimension of what we have in our vector database is not related to what we have on Pine. So the issue is from Pinecone. On Pinecone, we have 512 dimension, but the one OpenAI is giving us on NA10 is 1536. So that's the reason why we're having a mix match error. So now, with our workflow has successfully executed, we have 27 items. So let's go back to our Pinecone database. So let me go to database. Let me go to database, Pinecone database. Now, can you guys see all the records that we have? So it's still loading. We have 27. Jeez, I have match to watch. So we have 27. So this one has already splitted it into chunker text. Can you see? We have 27 um documents. So the chunks were sent to OpenAI to generate um the embeddings. And finally, all the embeddings have been stored into our Python vector store for our semantic search. So now our agents will be able to go through all these embeddings and do the best research technique to actually retrieve the most relevant information based on the questions from the user. So you might want to upload more than one file into your Google Drive folder. That's why we created a folder initially so that you can improve more on your knowledge base for your own VAC agent. So now, let's say you've created, let's say for Go Reality now, they launched more estates. So all I have to do is just to create another new version of document and also upload it to our Google Drive folder. And it's going to do the justice and also upload it to our vector database. So vector database is super useful if you want an organized information and you want it to handle different topics and related documents. So we've created all everything, we've created namespace, blah blah blah, stuff like that. Now, under options, you can either add metadata. Um, so let me just we've have I think okay, I've done that in our previous I've what's called I have added a metadata so that we will have a name for our document. So that is just it about our Pinecone vector database. That's how to build a Pinecone vector database. Now, since we are done with Pinecone vector database, so it's just as easy as that. Now we need to go and build our AI agents. Since we already have our Python vector database vectorized into our vector store in Python. So you can trigger this, you can activate this automation to run every time a folder drops, a file drops in your Google Drive folder. And once it's active, it will actually automatically pick up all new files that you add by yourself, and it will also process them and store them in your Pinecone vector database. So now we just built a RAG agent knowledge base for our AI agent using Python. So now, since we've already built it, we Jesus, I'm not sharing this tab. Since we've already built this, we need to build an actual chatbot that uses this Pinecone knowledge database to answer questions. So by the end, you'll be able to ask your chatbot anything from your uploaded documents and get a and get a clear answer for your AI chatbot. So now, I need to say something before we actually continue. Even though our vector database are unlimited, because over time, as you keep uploading new documents to your database, it can start getting cluttered or even hit storage limits. Remember, this is a paid software, or depending on your own plan. So before uploading, make sure you keep your documents clean and well organized. Don't just dump every single file into your Pinecone database, especially if they have images, blah blah blah, or stuff like that. Or all this on some of you just build database that are unstructured, because this type of data is not ideal for LLMs. I've taught you what LLM is to work with anyway, and it can even make some of our responses less accurate. So instead of just uploading any out document, try to keep your documents very concise, relevant, and well formatted. If you're not using any data, remove it from your vector store to make room for any new update. So now we need to build our actual agents. We need to build our actual AI agent. So now I'm going to make this as fast as possible because I have a match to watch. I bet it's almost 8 o'clock and I need to go and watch football. That's why I started this class by 5 o'clock. So you guys need to partner. I have a match. So I'm going to rush the next one. So we need to build an actual AI agent for our Pinecone database. So now what I'm going to do is let me create a new workflow. What am I doing for you? So I'm going to create a new workflow, and I'm going to create a new workflow. So we need to add, remember the first step, our our charts trigger. We need to add our chart trigger. So after adding our tra- chart trigger, which is our chart model, so we need to add our AI agents. Remember, I've taught you how to use this already, so I'm just going to rush through this. We need to add our AI agents, connected chart trigger, blah blah blah. Then add options. We need to add our system message. And for the chat model, let me just use Open AI chat model, and I'm going to use GPT-4o. Let me just use GPT-4o. Let me just use GPT-4o because it gives more um accuracy. So make sure your OpenAI is connected, but it should automatically connect if you have already set up um your credentials in the workplace. So we need to close it for now. Now we need to give our AI agents a clear instructions on how to respond to customers. We need to configure it. We need to add a system message on how it's going to respond. So first of all, change this to the expression mode and open the editor. So now I'm going to build a prompt. So I'm going to build a prompt for our what's called for our AI agent. So let me build a prompt for it. Um where is the what's called the one we built for Go Reality? So I need a well detailed prompt. Write a system prompt. A well detailed prompt for Go Reality. A well detailed one. So let me share um, the prompts. I'm going to ask ChatGPT to actually create the prompt. using this format. So I, I'm I'm trying to tell ChatGPT to create a system prompt for our AI agents. So let me see. Yeah, can you see? Yeah, a customer support assistant for Go Reality Homes and estate land, blah, 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 stuff like that. Blah, blah. You must strictly rely on the content store inside the connected vector database, which contains Go Reality estate location, pricing ranges, and knowledge base um, details. Objective: your job is to clearly explain everything a customer needs to know about Go Reality on homes, blah, 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 stuff like that. Um, so I'll just copy this. Um, I'll just copy this into our AI agent system prompt. So let me just copy this. Share this tab. Oh, sorry. Share. Let me share this tab. Share this particular tab. Just copy it and go back to ChatGPT and copy the rest also. So let me just copy the rest also. Copy this one also. So copy this one also. Then let me copy the rest. Hey, 703. Copy this one also. Then paste it to ChatGPT. So paste it to ChatGPT and copy the rest of the system prompt that ChatGPT generated for us and copy it and paste it here. So we've created a system prompt for our AI agent that we are going to be using for. So you can use chat like for this one I use ChatGPT to create my system prompts. So you can use cloud, you can use ChatGPT, and you can even improve it, blah 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 blah, blah stuff like that. Now for this importance for this system prompt, the role you're an AI customer support assistant, trace blah blah blah, stuff like that. It estate land location, Argo project, pricing structures, documentation, inspection, and all product offering, and lots more. Then the objective, we gave it the rules. Your job is to clearly explain everything a customer needs to know about Go Reality and homes using only the information available in the vector database. Your help ans- your help users and understand estate location, plot sizes, documentation, payment plans, inspection, procedure, allocation updates, and Agro estate details by retrieving and referencing only what exists in the Go Reality knowledge base. If a user asks for information not present or not stated in the vector store, politely tell them that information is not available and and they should reach out to support. Right? So you can modify it more and more and more. Then also gave it the rules of everything you need to know. Never guess name, assume name, estimate, or create new information. Only answer using the fact for from the vector database, blah blah. Be clear, direct, and professional. Keep answers 2 to 5, blah blah blah, stuff like that. Stuff like that. And lots more. So that's the system message we are going to be using for this. So this prompt should actually work perfectly. You can use anyone you want to use, anyone you want to use. So this one should actually work perfectly fine. And let me add memory. Let me add simple memory and let me make it um 10. Let me add it and make it 10 messages. So now so that your agent can what's called um um for remember what you've done. So for example, without memory, the agent will actually forget most of these details immediately. So now let me open the chat. Let me just say hey, 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 my name is my name My name is Emmanuel. I'm coming. Let me remove this. So let me just say, hey, my name is Emmanuel. Hi, Emmanuel. So now, can you see? I didn't add any memory yet, right? So let me ask him again. What is my name? What is my name? What is my what is what is my name? Can you see? I don't have access to your name. Can you please tell me your name so I can assist you better? But when I connect this memory, let me try again. Hey, my name is Emmanuel. So let me ask him again. What is my name? What is my name? Your name is Emmanuel. Can you see? Because I added a memory for you to be able to answer these questions, blah, blah, blah. So you can add it more and more. You can even add it how many past interactions, 20, as many as you actually want it to be. So for it not to forget. So you can ask him more questions, blah, blah, blah. So that's just how the memory actually works, because sometimes you might feel like you chat with real human because you're able to remember your last conversation. So let's just forget this for now. Now, next thing, we need to connect our vector database so that our agent can pull information directly from our documents and use it to answer what's called um what's called our our what do I even call it? So that we're able to answer our customers or whoever is using the chatbot very well. And remember, we've already vectorized our data into our Pinecone um, vector database so that it will not hallucinate or even answer questions that it can't actually answer. So all we need to do is to add it to our vector database. So I'm going to search for um Pinecone database. So now the reason why I'm adding vector database is because whenever someone asks any questions, to be able to answer it very, very well. So now, for we to connect our Pinecone database, we need to search for the vector tool. So go head over to your vector store, head over to your node store, blah blah blah, stuff like that, and search for Pinecone. No, sorry, hold on. To the two. So just search for Pinecone. Sorry. Just search for Pinecone. Search for Pinecone. So this is Pinecone Vector Store. So we've connected our Pinecone account already to it. So it's going to ask for description for our what's called. So it's going to ask us to choose our Pinecone index, and we're going to be using. Remember the Pinecone index we created for this for doing when we're actually trying to embed um when we're actually trying to embed this document. So we're going to choose the Pinecone document, which is Go Reality RAG database, because we want to be able to retrieve this document from our vector store. So now I'm going to have selected the Pinecone database. So it's going to ask for the description. So you can just use any random description that you want to use, but for this one, I'm going to use the description. Let me see. So just go back to AI and just tell it I need description for Pinecone. database. So just go back to and let it actually do the work again. Since it was the one that gave us the, so it has already given us useful when you need to answer question about Go Reality Homes, it finds and return the most relevant information from the document in the vector database, estate location, pricing, blah blah blah, stuff like that. So I'm going to copy this and go back to our description here. I'm going to change it to expression, expand it, and paste the description. Now, if you could see that this one also need an embedding model. We need to add an embedding model also. So I'm going to be adding OpenAI, OpenAI embedding model for this. I'm going to be using OpenAI embedding model. I'm going to be using this also. So I'm just going to drag it here. So I'm not going to drag this also here. Let me just close this. So I'm just going to drag this also here. OpenAI embedding uh model. So let me just name this. Let me just rename this as Go Reality, Go Reality, Go Reality Rag Agent. Let me just rename it like that. So now, what else do we need to do? We need to make sure it actually goes to our Python um vector store, right? We need to make sure that it's actually head over to our Python vector store. So it's actually working limits, blah blah blah, stuff like that. And I think that's all we need about this. So we also need to add a Python namespace, and just paste it there, and that's all. So I think this should work now. So let me just ask some question and let me just test if it's actually working now. So let me just ask him, um, hello. So let me just ask him any simple questions. Hello, good day. Azal, what's happening? He's not supported as well. Okay, okay. Let me use GPT-4. Let's try it. Let's try GPT-4. Let me save. Let me use GPT-4. Okay, GPT-4 is working. Okay. Hello, how can I assist you today with inquiries about Go Reality Homes? So let me just ask some questions about, let us go to our knowledge database. Let us go to our knowledge database and let me ask him of um let me ask him of let me see. Let's search our knowledge database and ask him any questions. Okay, where is your office located? Let me ask him that. Where is your okay? Where is where is your office located? Azal. Is in our vector database. You guys should hold on. Trying to see. You guys can actually don't make it faster. I'm trying to take this class slowly for you guys to understand. I think there's an error in our workflow. I need to troubleshoot where the error actually came off. Okay, my kidney is not updated. Well, yeah, I should come. Wait. Okay, I think there's an error. I need to. Okay. We don't need the drive node again because we've already embedded. We don't need the drive node again because we've already embedded it in our what's called. We've already embedded it in our how do I call it? Sir? We've already embedded it in our Pinecone database already, so we don't need the what's called the what's called. We don't need the kidney again. We don't need the drive node, so we have already embedded it. So I'm trying to troubleshoot where this error actually um came from. So I'm trying to troubleshoot where this error actually came from, and let me do it again from the beginning. Let me do it again from the beginning because we're not getting what we are supposed to get. So now what we need to do is first of all. So what we need to do is to first of all, remember we started with adding our Pinecone, what's called our Pinecone node. So we need to add this to. Okay, I think the reason why it didn't work is because we didn't use the right to. That's why it's not going through our um what's called vector database. We actually needed to use the vector store, not actually the real pinecone was called. So I'm going to add the vector score. So go back to your NA10 node now and just search for the vector store and add the node. So once you add the node, you're also going to add remember we're going to add our open AI chat model, and it's going to automatically add our own Python vector store, and we're also going to use the um embedding what's called that we're trying to use. If your screen is going on and off, please check your network. Jesus. It's your network that is having issues. If your screen is going on and off, please check your network. Please check your network. So now, um, these are vector store already. I have connected it. I'm going to just use a name for it. Let's say we go reality go reality rag. Jeez, this match is starting very soon. So description of data. I can just use what's called any remember the one ChatGPT generated for us, the description of data, useful for blah blah blah, useful for when you need to answer a question about Go Reality. So I'm just going to copy this description and just change it to expression. Open your editor node, and just paste it there. So when I paste it there, it's going to ask me of the embedding model we want to use, and we are using the OpenAI GPT-4. Let me use GPT-4. We're not using GPT-4. We're using GPT-4 for this embedding model. So we've already connected our Pinecone account already, and we are using this Go Reality Rack agent, and I've already given it a name. Remember the name we created the other time? Um, Go Go Reality Go Reality Rack agent. Okay, let me just go reality rag. So that's our okay. Just go back. Let's check what is our namespace here. Let's see what's our namespace here. For those of you that are getting confused, so this is the namespace we have here. Go reality rag agent, right? And we have 27 records. Go reality lag agent. So I'm just going to come back here and paste it there. I'm going to come back here and paste it there. And I think it should actually um work now. So now let me text this and see if we are going to have any other error again. Open chat. Um, I'm going to, where's your, as usual, hello, hello, good day, hello, good day. Hi, how can I assist you? Okay, let me ask it again. Where is your office located? Okay, let me see. Okay, I think there's an issue. Where, what's, what is Go Reality about? Go Reality is a real estate company that deals with estate land sales in another. Right, right. Are we using the Are we using the wrong knowledge base? You guys should don't know. Just share Go Reality estate rag. So we should be having the what's called the database here now. So why is our rag not working? We need to troubleshoot this. I need to know where exactly the issue is coming from. Let's know exactly where the issue is coming from. I should be using this now. Okay, because we didn't added our pinecone namespace. I was sure, like I was imagining where the error is coming from. Okay, because we didn't added our pinecone namespace, that's why it's not actually going to the exact what's called. So what's our pinecone namespace? I'm going to come back to our namespace and just copy the pinecone namespace. Go reality rag agents. So that's why it's not really going to our. So I'm just going to pinecone namespace. I've already dropped that here already, and that's just it. So I think it should work now. Let me test it again. Hello, where is your office located? Connected. Okay. It's connected now. So we still need to know where the error is coming from. Come on, let me test it again. Error in subnode. Open node. Which of the node is not connected? Is it not the node that we just use now? Abi, I don't get. We've already wired you now. Okay, Geez, we've separated these already, so I think it should work now. We separated it. I didn't know I didn't wire it up, self. That's one of the little things that might be giving you headache when it comes to building automation. Let me try it now. So why are you giving me? Okay, it's working now. Hello. Okay, let me ask him. Where is your office located again? Office. Where is your office located? It's currently unavailable. We already put it in our vector database now. What's happening? I need to deploy it. What exactly is the issue? You pity yourself. You guys should calm down. That's one of the issues of automation. Gemini does not have embedding except OpenAI. I need to know what exactly is the issue. Where's Guriot? As thou know, is it our embedding is not working? I don't know. So I think the best thing, let's ask OpenAI to help us fix this thing because, hey guys, hey, yeah, sure, man. I need to troubleshoot this. I need to know exactly the issue came from. Yes, Shelley. I need to know where exactly the issue came from. I think it's from the two. I need to know. I think it's from the two. What's called? It's not really calling the right two. I want to know. Is it from the prompting that we're having the issues, or where? This is the prompt I use now. I need to debug this. So let me try this again. Let me change the prompts and use this and see if it actually works. No, we're not gonna. I'm going to debug live on this call. No, we must find the solution live on this call. So let me see. We're going to debug live on this call. So let me just save and see where the issue is. And let me try it again. Still the same thing. I need to know where exactly the issue is coming from. Let's know where exactly is. Let me try another method. Is it that it's not well embedded in our what's code? I need to know exactly is from the issue. I need to know. So let me use cloud and debug this thing from the beginning. So cloud is going to, you guys are actually you guys calm down. So now what I'm going to do is I want to debug this entire workflow. Let me just use cloud and tell cloud what exact issues we are facing. So I'm just going to download this particular workflow. I'm going to download it, and so that I won't waste much of our time. Let me go back to cloud. Let me go back to cloud. So I'm going to tell cloud I'm not using Opera. So let me go back to cloud, and I'm going to tell cloud the exact issues we are facing so we could actually debug um faster. So I'm just going to come to cloud, tell him copy the message that we have. So I'm going to come to cloud and just tell him the issues we are having. Then I'm also going to upload the uh, node and tell him data are embedded in my vector database, but it is it is not giving me the right answer. Jeez, time we brought it over. So let's debug and let's see what we have. So that's one thing about automation. Even a master. And the funniest thing now, I did this thing yesterday. Okay. When you embed document, they have been stored in namespace without space. So when retrieving this, looking in. So okay. So the system prompted to blah, 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 call vector tool, but the connection is direct, not as a tool to call this setup. So first of all, we need to, can you see? I think we already know where the issue is. Let me hold on. Let me remove this. Let me remove this and let me wire it up. And let's see. I want to know. Okay, it's because Jesus Christ. Just because of a simple space, that's why we're having errors since. Jeez, let me copy this also and paste it. So just because we have a single space here, that's why we are having an error. That's one of the craziest stuff about automation. Because even a simple comma can actually cost us a whole lot of time debugging. Just because we're having a space. That's why let me also change. That's why this thing is not working. I just hope it is the reason. So so let me type it again and send it. Still the same thing. As I don't know. Let's go back. Let me see what exactly is the issue. Okay, I need to know. I still know this. I need to know where exactly is the issue. But it's inside our like documents now. Okay, actually, why? It was embedded successfully. Yes, no. This was our embedding. I need to know what was the issue. So let me still go back to cloud and just tell him still same issue. And I'm using the actual namespace name. And here's my embeddings. So let me just you guys should calm down. We are going to find a solution to it. Let's know where the issue is. I think the issue is from our embedding. It's actually calling the vector database, but I think the issue is from our first workflow. The issue is from our first workflow. The embedding is no what's called. So what exactly are we having the issues? I need to know. I need to know where the issue is. Wait, I know where the issue is. Wait, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Okay, wait. I think it's from our embedding. I saw something just now. Wait, how much is a plot? How much is a plot? Can you see, guys? See. Let me tell you where the let me tell you where the issues. Let me tell you where the issue is. So now I asked it how much is a plot. The pricing for plot can vary greatly because on our location and size. For instance, plots in our Eden Crescent and Pinnacle City Estate in Monia, blah blah blah, stuff like that. Can you see it's worked here? So now come over to our embedding, the pinecone chunking, blah blah blah, stuff like that. See, see where it started. See where it started. It started from, let me share this tab. It started from all prices offer here, blah blah blah. It started from here. See where it started. It started from all price offer here, blah blah blah, stuff like that. Let's check our knowledge base. Let me see the pricing. So I it's it actually was called our it actually removed some documents. That's why we were having that issue. We were having that issue because um we were having some documents that were removed. That is now, if you see this document now, if you check where it started, it's not exactly how our document is on our what's called Google Docs. It's actually removed some documents. That's why we were having these issues. So now let's I don't like open router chat model. I want to use this because I've already started using this. So I'm going to use this actually. So now our AI agent is actually very, very cool. It's actually working very, very well. It's working very, very well. The issue we were having is from our first workflow. It didn't our what's called text splitter. It didn't give us. It actually cut out some of the documents there. That's why we were having that issues. So now let's solve it out. Let's solve it out. I think I know what to do. Let me solve it out now. So let me come in. So I know where the issue is actually. Oh, God. After spending a whole of hours debugging, that's one of the crazy things about AI automation. That you won't even know that it's actually the little thing that is what's called that is going on with your workflow. So the issue is from the chunk size is too small, blah blah blah. So let's use 3,000s and Let me use it. So let me share this. Let me change this to 3000 and chunk overlap. Let me just change this to um, 300. I think that should work. So let me change it to 3000 and let me check it 300. So now I'll go back to our Pinecone database and I'm going to delete this index. I'm going to delete it. I'm going to delete this one. So let me copy the name first. So I'm going to delete this one. We don't need it anymore. It didn't give us our complete data. So I'm going to delete this index. So let me um, create a new index using the same name, and I'll be using text embedding 3 small. And remember, we'll change it to 1536, and let's create the index. So it's actually still initializing. So let me come back, share this tab instead. So vector database store. So I'm still going to be using this. Um, so I'll still be using this and the embedding batch size, stuff like that. So now I think this should work. We should have our complete information now. So let me execute workflow and see. So now can you see we actually have the complete information about um Go Realty Homes, the company overview, um, land estates, blah blah blah, stuff like that, and everything. Instead of the one we have earlier that didn't give us um the what's called the complete informations about the workflow. So now let me go back to this workflow we created. Let me share this tab and let me change it again to the vector database that we are using. Okay, let me see the pinecone that is actually created. Let me see the namespace. It's still this. So it's still the same thing. So change it. So do all the necessary changes here also. So we're going to be using this same pinecone, blah blah stuff like that. Now, so let me just text it and see. Hello. Okay. Where's your office located? It's still not available at that time. Okay, wait. He didn't actually even call the vector database save. Hold on. This is your price, eh? So let me save this. Let me come back again. This thing you must work. Oh. Not sure. beautiful. Okay. So let me test it again. Where is your estate? It should work now. Where is your estate location? Where's your estate location? Because I think it's from our prompting. We actually have an embedded test. So why is our prompting? You guys should just hold on. I need to know where exactly the issue is coming from. Shema, why me? Yeah, sure. Hold on. Yes. So come back here. I'm coming. I'm trying to let me change the prompting and see where exactly the issue is. There's no specified location in the expression. We have specified location now. We have it here already. Office address, blah blah. Is it that it's not embedded or what? I need to know. It's embedded already and we have it here. So why are we having issues? Um what is the office address? This guy won yourself. What's exactly his issue? I need to know what exactly is the issue. You guys know what? I need to really know what exactly is. I really need to know exactly is the issue. Please, we will still come back to it. Please, can we have another class again tonight? Please, I want us to solve this one, and I need to watch football now. Can we come back to this thing? 10 o'clock. Is there anyone available for debugging by 10? Is there anyone available for debugging by 10? Jesus. Please, anyone that is available by 10 o'clock, we are going to debug it together. Please, anyone that is if you are, it's not compulsory, but anyone that is available, we are going to debug it together. Then I'm going to drop the video on. You can rewatch tomorrow to know how we actually debugged. So I'm going to drop the video, but anyone that is available to debug together, um, I'm going to drop the video for that. Anyone is not by force. Anyone that is available for us to actually debug it together to know the solutions to what we are having our data not complete. So um come back to it. So guys, please, you guys need to excuse me now. After that, making color over. Go ball! Go ball! Jesus! Go ball! Go ball! Go ball! Go ball! Go! Go ball! Bro! Go ball! Go ball! Bro! Osimhen! 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 Ah! Go ball! Ah! My intro! Please, I'm going to see you guys later. Bye. Bye for now. I'm going to see you guys later. See now, see clean goal.